All right, and welcome everyone to the Ginette Biro Podcast. I'm Ginette Biro, and thank you so much. I'm going to say it every time. Thank you for listening to the show. I really do truly appreciate you guys. I love the questions that I get from you, the responses from when I post of the timeliness. Like I really, honestly, with these podcasts, I follow the flow of spirit and my guides, and when they, suggest I bring in a certain insight or understanding, and so it's wonderful how timely it ends up really being. So thank you for your comments, you guys. It's beautiful. So today we are talking about the December energy update. Can you believe it? We are now at the final month of this 2021 year. It has been a year. Holy smokes. But we have an update for the month and it's good news. I'm going to say it's good news. It's beautiful. And it's really leading us up to the energy of what 2022 is going to be about, which I will talk to you guys about January 1st. Until then, though, let's focus on the energies of this month. Now, in order to really understand them, we have to take note and take stock of what November provided. Because November had a ton of energy in it. We had the moon, we had the full moon, partial lunar eclipse. That was a lot. That brought up a lot, and it brought up these energies from spirit. My guides were saying it was about shining a light on those last things, those things that just need recognition. Maybe they're things we've gone over once or twice or three times or more already, thinking we kind of, amended it, all that kind of stuff, but it came up again. So it could be released. It could be put to rest. It could be surrendered, any of those things, because that partial lunar eclipse that we saw on, what was the date of it? That was on the, oh my goodness, 17th? Gosh, I can't even, no, 19th, gosh, that we saw on the 19th. Now, there's an energy from that partial lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse that I believe is December 4th, if I have my dates right. So we're stepping into that energy of the solar eclipse. Now, this is going to finalize or solidify what we've cleared, released, stepped into, become, embraced, all of those things that we are focusing on doing right now. So what this all means is we have a lot of good energy moving in our favor. The things that are coming up are not to punish us, to have us struggle. They're coming so that we can reinforce who we are. Make those choices again and standing in our truths again of who we are, why we're here, how we can move in love and compassion stepping forward. Because again, 2022, I will say, is an energy of embodiment. There's your little heads up. It's about embodiment as who you are, which is why all this clearing has been coming so that we can stand in the truths of who we are. And it's not about one being better than the other. It's not that. There is no competition, no matter who you are. It is about being true to self. Your soul journey is the one that matters because it's based on your perspective. That's why you are here. That doesn't mean we have narrow-minded, egotistical soul journeys. It means we move with love and compassion in the world, but we do so in an energy of peace and love for other people. So what is in store for this month? Well, like I said, we have the solar eclipse that's going to round out, culminate that energy from the lunar eclipse. Okay, that's a really good thing. But we also have the energies of peace, meaning finding peace in present moments is going to be easier. We're going to be able to sink into moments of, everything is okay right now as it is. In this moment, I am grateful for A, B, C, and D, and maybe the whole alphabet. Finding those moments of peace are going to be a big thing because we still have changes going on around us. There's a lot of external changes still happening. We will still see a couple more things happening as well, coming in the collective events, shifts, and all of that kind of stuff. We will see that, but that doesn't have to take away from your inner peace. Even when there's chaos around, you can still be strong and rooted like a big tree. Consider yourself like a big tree. And it's interesting too, because, oftentimes when I see spirit approaching their exit points, they come to wholeness and manifestation with their own big tree. They're standing in front of their tree, looking up at it, and that's the completion. And I'm not saying this is your completion. What I'm saying though is be rooted like that big tree. Trees in the forest really get to show us what really embodying and being sturdy and connected to the earth is. And we all have that within ourselves. So as the winds of change move around us, we can be sturdy and rooted like that tree when we connect deeply into knowing who we are, knowing our place on the planet, and feeling like we are purposely here at this time for a reason, because we are. So those are two things that are going to really play together in December, which they're also, my guides are telling me right now too, is as those external winds move around the tree, that is you will also then get those reinforcing energies and awarenesses and synchronicities of how far you have come. Because December energy really wants to tell you and show you how much you have changed, how much you have grown, how far you have come, to inspire you to continue on that journey. But like, again, embody it is the key word, what I just keep hearing from them over and over. Now, the other things they want to talk about for December is the deep knowings. And this is going to come in the form of kind of like intuitions. You will notice that your intuition, your ability to intuit energies, situations, environments, all of that kind of stuff will become stronger. December is going to really invite us into merging deeper with the higher frequencies, because again, with all the clearing we've been doing, we are inherently increasing our frequency. The higher our frequency, the more we're connecting with those higher realms, which means more ease and grace in their communication back towards us. It's a good thing. So we're building these bridges right now, which give us more sense of deep knowing. So trust in some of the intuitions that you are getting this month, because they're bringing you insights. Now, I want to say that an intuition will be steady and solid regardless of what it brings. A fear or a worry, on the other hand, because sometimes people have a hard time telling the difference. A fear or a worry will have a chaotic energy to it. It'll have an energy that instills more fear, that ruminates and spins and spins and spins, whereas an intuition, regardless of what it is a deep knowing. They call it a deep knowing for a reason. It is steady and it is there, and it is in your undercurrent. Again, kind of like this idea of the tree. The tree is steady no matter the winds around it. It may bend a little bit, but at the root and at the core, it is steady. That is your deep knowing. So pay attention to what comes up in your intuitions this month, because there's a lot that will come to us energetically first. So a lot of you might be at the end of this month, be like, oh my gosh, I've been feeling this and this and this, and I saw this happen, or I dreamt about this. Notice what comes to you. And again, it was last week I did the podcast on astral travel and astral projection, and how spirit really wanted us to open up to that, knowing that that is possible, first of all, and then also being more intent based in our astral travels, because that's where spirit's going to communicate more of this stuff. They want to open up these lines of communication with each and every one of us, so that it doesn't have to always be through medium and always through channeler. You yourself are also a very divinely connected being. You are light. You are soul consciousness embodied on this planet right now. And so why shouldn't you have that ability to connect? And you do have the ability to connect. And that comes through those intuitions, dream state, astral state, meditative states, all of that kind of stuff. And again, I want to reiterate that in meditations, it doesn't always have to be seated, eyes closed meditations in stillness. It can be walking meditations. You could be painting, sculpting, gardening, running. It could be in yoga. There's a lot of ways that we can enter into a meditative state. And sometimes keeping the left brain, the very logical side of the brain, busy, as in painting, your body is physically busy moving, allows the right brain, which is that kind of spiritual, curvilinear, expressive brain, to open and receive. So if you're struggling to sit in that kind of quiet space and meditate, try it a different way. Get curious to see how those insights can come through, and you might be really surprised. So that's the deep knowing. Now, the other thing that they wanted to talk about was also this idea of balance and harmony. And that a lot of us for December are going to come back to this energy of balance and harmony. And that this is very purposeful as to why it's happening, because we have cleansed and cleaned out and shifted. And we've been in these polarities that are moving up and down of like triumphs. That's my dog, in case you guys are wondering the noise. Triumphs and pitfalls and shifts, and, kind of like a roller coaster, right? This roller coaster ride that has been 2021. The beautiful thing now that they're saying about this is we are coming back into balance. December wants to bring us balance. Now, we might not see that balance externally. Again, the winds of change are still happening. But as we root into who we are in our deep knowing and we find peace in these moments, we're going to realize how much we can control these scales of balance based on our perspective, releasing what we can't control that is not ours to control, such as other people or environment things, but recognizing what in that we can change, shift, or control, which is maybe our perspective, maybe what we do in our environment, how we prepare in our environment, all these different things. We're being given these opportunities to realize who we are and how much we've grown. And that in itself helps to bring us back to balance. Because one thing that can happen, and they're reminding me right now, one thing that can happen sometimes is we get so enthralled in trauma healing, shifting, growing, going into past and digging stuff up. We sometimes, as much as it's good, can get stuck there. And we forget or don't take enough time to realize how far we have come. Now, for any of you that watch my daily messages from Spirit and card readings, I do those every morning on weekdays. One that has been coming up more and more often is the stag card. It's this beautiful stag with big antlers, and it represents pride and leadership. And it's not boastful pride, but it's about acknowledging the leader that you are, acknowledging how much work you have done, that you are in a place where you can stand tall and you can stand in that regal energy of self because of what you have done. And sometimes it's in those moments that we can actually take some time to recognize how far we have come. And we can sit in that energy of accomplishment, of pride. It is okay to be proud of oneself for growth and for transmuting things, for recognizing that maybe things that in January 2021 would trigger you and bug you. Now, if that happens, you're like, you know what? It's not mine. I send that person love and goodness, and I'm going to carry on my way. That's huge change. That's a huge sense of freedom for the person if they can come to that place. And that's but one example of the many ways in which we can grow. So that balance of scales that's happening in December is giving you the opportunity to come back into harmony, which then feeds into that energy of peace that they opened with, peace in the present moment. Part of that is recognizing how far you have come. And that is so, so important. So December has a lot of bounty to bring energetically, bounty in the goodness. You may still feel a little bit of wild energy a bit with the solar eclipse coming, but that wild energy doesn't have to be triggering bad necessarily. It can also be helping you to acknowledge who you are, helping you to use those energies to shift and change. Now, they're also reminding me too, they're saying, talk about the fires. And I'm not talking about physical fires, but the fire energy that we are stepping into right now, which is Sagittarius. And this is a beautiful energy of passion, of creativity, of ignition, of change, motivation. This is the energy we are stepping into. And when we use the energy of fire, of passion, the element of fire, in finding our places of peace, holding that place there, it's kind of like, picture like a beautiful warm fire pit. That fire can also give you warmth, can also give you peace and comfort, can also give you a sense of hearth and home. Like it brings bounty. There is that energy available to us right now too in December. So it's bringing all these pieces together. And I love that that is in fact happening in December, especially for those of you that have beautiful celebrations throughout December, Christmas being one of them, because I celebrate Christmas. So I'm going to acknowledge that one. But there are many celebrations that happen. And it's a real time of being in the moment, be in those moments with family, with friends, Don't take things so seriously. Appreciate people for who they are and where they're at. I've said it in podcasts before, one that my husband and I did together, which is meet people where they're at. Don't expect something from somebody who can't give it to you. And that way you won't be disappointed. Simply see the beauty you can in them, see the uniqueness you can in them, see the, funny things you can in people, in situations, trusting your deep knowing and allowing those scales to kind of bounce up and down a little bit as they need. But Spirit is saying they're not going to be giving us the roller coasters as much of what we've been through in 2021. December is about easing back in from the wild ride that we've had, coming back into that start position so that in January we are stepping into that embodiment. So again, the way I'm seeing it is like, as this roller coaster comes in to dock, if I could call it that, we get to step out of the car, fix our hair, fix our clothes, and walk forward, knowing that we have made some beautiful strides, beautiful lessons, beautiful learnings, and we're ready to move forward and continue creating with this fiery energy. So that is an exciting one for me to share with you guys. I hope it helps inspire you moving forward. There is good stuff coming energetically. Just fall into that, fall into the energy of you, acknowledge you, and allow that to ripple out from you so that you can help others acknowledge themselves, because sometimes people can't see the beauty of who they are until somebody else can shine that for them. So maybe that's part of your role too. So anyways, I will leave you guys with that. Happy December 1st, everyone, or December 1st week. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. I'm so grateful for all of you that are on here as well. Check out avalonspirit.com. We have lots of great resources, information, personal journey guides to help you on your path of ascension and exploring your own consciousness. And for everything else, do join us at the Avalon Spirit Facebook group. It's a beautiful open group of like-minded people. I post videos on there all the time, so check that out as well. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful, nourishing, lovely, warm December. I'll see you guys next week.